Okay.
All right. I'm gonna do like a start, I guess. Okay. Hey. Okay.
I'll just go
Wait.
with the flow.
Okay. Cool.
Just interrupt.
Whatever.
You.
This is it. Hi, everybody. This is Sean from Good Entertainment.
And I think we started already.
Yeah, I think we did. This is Sean here with my very good friend Harry.
Hello.
Hey. We're here for Summertime Radness, the scary sequel. So we do these recap videos every month to talk about the project and how it's going, and kind of just our favorite contributions so far. So these are our favorite contributions or whatever for the month of May.
June, Sean.
June, the month of June. Jeez.
June, Sean.
I'm working 2 jobs, and I'm exhausted, and I'm just very tired. I knew when I said May, I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't think of the next month. So.
Well, somebody has to keep this show on track here. So, and I guess that is going to have to be me. So yeah, basically, if you haven't seen any of the other events we've hosted previously, we like to do these recap videos, which is just another chance for us to kind of stroke one another's egos and say, oh, this video was great, your video was great, no, your video was great, what are you talking about, your video was way better than my one. But also, it's a chance for us to kind of show appreciation for the wider community that also contributes to Summertime Radness. So, I guess we'll get started with... Well, I guess like the first video was my own one, so... Cool. Sean, this is the part where you tell me how much you liked my...
Harry, I gotta say, I loved your video. Dang.
It's late at night, so I'm really kind of like hostile, or not hostile, but really kind of like sarcastic, so forgive me.
No, I honestly really did love... I love the video, because I mentioned it in the comments for... the video, but I actually haven't gotten to play Spectre of Torment yet. So Harry played Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment, played just kind of the first level messing around as Spectre Knight, and dang, that game's cool. It looks beautiful, it plays fantastic, and I have a deep love for Shovel Knight, and
it's so good.
Yeah, it's just, and it's stellar, and I love games that give you great options for replayability, and giving you these different campaigns is fantastic. And the fact that this one's just kind of like a little spookier and you get to play as someone who's so freaking cool is fantastic. And it was great contribution, great decision,
Sean
really cool.
Playing as Plague Knight in his own video next month, or this month, because it's going to happen. Now you have no choice, Sean.
What am I doing? I didn't hear what you said.
You're going to do a video where you show off Plague Knight.
Oh, heck yeah, I'd love to. All right, coming at you fast. Watch out, everybody.
I have spoken.
Cool.
Because I'm pretty sure the people want to see that too.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I want to play it, so it'll be there. Awesome.
Speaking of videos that Sean is going to do or has done in the past, our next contribution that we had this time around was Raving Rabbids. And one of the things, so even though it's not necessarily the spookiest game out there, though that cow throwing thing was pretty creepy.
It was weird, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things I just loved about seeing this game was it's just kind of like such a kind of like a throwback to the early days of the Nintendo Wii and motion controls, and just kind of playing and experimenting with what you could do with the system, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is just really, really fun to see, because it's something we're so, like, I mean, we're talking about, like, what, 12 years ago, probably, at this stage?
Shoot,
which is kind of
like that,
weird to think about. And that's just all it was about. It was just like kind of a parody, well, not a parody game, but just a kind of like a random mishmash of lots of little mini games, pretty much, each of them exploiting the Wii motion nunchuck in as many different ways as they could think of. And I think it was just a really cool way to show off, like, the hardware of the Wii, I guess.
Yeah.
And having those like little rabbit guys running around the place being naughty little sons of bitches was pretty cool as well. So.
I can only agree. And I think it's weird how like what a turn the rabbits have made. Like, they originally were supposed to be these weird, creepy, like antagonists for Rayman, and now they're one of Ubisoft's
Now they're-
biggest things.
And
I
now
just-
they're princesses and apes. And
Yeah, and freaking hanging out with Mario. Like, what? Like,
yeah, they've hit the big time.
apparently, and it all started with this crappy Wii game, and it's this weird, crappy, scary, ominous game. I don't know. Yeah. Speaking of ominous, and kind of the atmosphere that you kind of build from something like that, a ton of us played Metroid games the past month, which I think we all kind of saw coming, I guess. But nevertheless, I'm happy to see that they are stellar games.
And I think as well, like one of the things that we love about, one of the things that we really wanted to push with Summertime Radness, the scary sequel, is just kind of like spookiness and kind of like scary atmosphere, and kind of the atmosphere of a game as opposed to anything else. And I think that's why not only Sean and myself, but Mini Mancino, one of our like star contributors for every event so far, we each kind of like honed in on a Metroid game. So I showed off Metroid Prime 2, which is probably the darkest of the Metroid games. Sean showed off Metroid Prime 1, which certainly has its moments as well. I'm looking at you, Space Pirate Laboratories, and Mini Mancino picked Super Metroid, which has some brilliant atmospheres as well, and just the whole opening of that game, the kind of degree to which it makes you feel isolated and alone, I think is really, really quite cool. So I think Sean's right. I think when you say it's no surprise that we kind of all saw the potential that the Metroid franchise had for scary videos. I think I think you hit the nail on the head. So
for sure, I'd even add just that Mini Mancino's contribution, Super Metroid, it's so crazy to think that that's the game that started that whole kind of atmosphere. When you see, I mean, there are other games before it that certainly have a kind of a creepy atmosphere, but you know, like Super Metroid created not only a whole genre of games basically, but for me at least, I hadn't played a game where I had that kind of atmosphere available to me. And the fact that this is a Super Nintendo game, I think it came out in 1993 or so, or maybe, I don't know, but like just geez, like and there are games that's like a game that's that old still can do so much, and I think that's crazy. So I have a really soft spot for Super Metroid, and I really appreciated seeing it. I was really happy that someone got to it.
So we also had a contribution which was like from the complete darker end of the spectrum. So a game which features kind of a tall, when I talk about kind of like tall, creepy main characters and little kids, I'm very obviously talking about Knight's Journey of Dreams. so which was one of Sean's contributions.
Oh jeez, that was really good. Dang it, Knights is weird, and I really like Knights. I have a real soft spot for Knights. Beautiful games, but yeah, they're just weird, and I don't know. And I think, you know, you got these kids and they're having nightmares, and apparently Knights is gonna go in and save them from their nightmares and everything. And I don't know. Shoot, Andrew hates that game.
It's his own personal nightmare.
It really is, and that's honestly why I did it. I wanted to just kind of like, hey guys, this is a bad game, and I made my friend play. But it does have a lot of those, kind of like, not nearly like Super Metroid, but it has ominous tones, and it tries to dive a little bit into nightmares and really kind of letting things get the best of you. Which I appreciate it for. Not saying that it fully succeeds in it, but I appreciate that it tries to go there. I think it's really cool. Did you have anything to say about Knights?
No.
Okay, cool.
I quite like it as well. I must say I love the music. Is one of the things I love about Knights. Just the soundtrack.
That's part of the reason I think I kept playing it.
Rocking. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm kind of a Knights fan as well, because I'm a sucker for the whole kind of like the kind of absurdity of some Sega designed games
Yeah.
and Sega franchises and things like that. Like I love the absurdity of the backgrounds, and I think the atmosphere of Nights is like really unique. I don't think there's any other game that kind of looks like it or that has the same kind of environments in it. So there's something to be appreciated there, I think.
Absolutely. They're beautiful games.
Speaking of appreciation, Minnie Machino played the sequel to Night's Journey into Dreams because she played Slender the 8 Pages or whatever. So
Absolutely.
So Sean,
Oh, go ahead.
have you ever played this game?
I have growing up. A few friends had it. You know, it was when like Amnesia and Slender were really big. And so, you know, we would turn all the lights off and crowd around the computer and take turns trying to get all the pages and everything. So like, I have some history with it. It wasn't a game that particularly scared me too much growing up. I'm just not really one for like shock value, I guess. But but I gotta say, I think it's really funny and really cool to see. You know, we have all these games that we played, and this is like so far the only contribution that's like an actual scary game. And like, and nothing against the other contributions or whatever. I just think it's funny how vast this project is in terms of like what we're accepting into it. But gotta say, you gotta love something classic, you know? I love that, hey, here's this classic horror game. Like, Slender is, it's textbook classic horror game.
It's a modern classic, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think like, it was, so I've never played it and I've never seen it because you know, my kind of like contrary self, I was like, well, I don't want to like it, blah blah blah, and I don't want, it's stupid anyway. So actually, like, Minnie's video was the first time I'd ever seen it, and it did look like legitimately creepy, like it did look like legitimately scary. So I think that's another thing we have to appreciate her for, is like taking one for the team and playing it, playing like the first actual scary horror game contribution to Summertime Radness.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So then to a game that has like certain elements of being like a scary game, and makes you think that it's going to be a scary game, but turns out to be about something completely different. I'm currently doing my Gone Home Let's Play, which I haven't finished yet. But which I have finished recording, so it is going to be complete, everybody. So another game that really kind of prides narrative and storytelling and atmosphere and world building above all else. I think like the detail that they go into it in like creating the world that you're exploring in this like one family home is absolutely crazy. I don't know what your, if you've ever seen it or you've ever like played the game, Sean.
Not really. I haven't like, I have it downloaded and I never played it. I mean, Harry and I talked a little bit before we started recording, but it's a game that I've wanted to play forever, and because I know it's something that I'll really enjoy and think is really good, and I'm really loving that there's a series of it by, you know, my friend that I can watch, because I haven't had the time to play it myself, so I'm really happy that you're playing it. I think it's fantastic, and I can't wait to sink my teeth into it more, you know?
Cool. So speaking of something that I have played, though, it is the amazing Hang Castle in the amazing Sonic Heroes, which I love.
This was really special to play. I think this had... as we've said before, a lot of these games mean a lot to us, which is, you know, the whole freaking idea of the project. But going back and playing a game that means a lot to me for the whole point of contributing to a project with my friends for YouTube on the internet, is it's perfect. I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny enough that I'm doing a project with you, of course. But that it's a game that we both have history with, and that's because, as I talked about in the video, Harry and I, we had a channel years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to think which April Fool's Day was it that I put up that video.
I'll never forget. But so we all played Sonic Heroes together as the different teams you could be, and I was Team Sonic, Harry was Team Chaotix.
Of course.
But it was so spectacular going back to this game, even for the short time that I did, and just kind of really sitting in it and enjoying what it was. It was very nostalgic. It was very sweet. I loved it a lot.
And it's kind of weird to for things to kind of come to the point where you're able to like make a video of a game and kind of start being nostalgic about other videos you made of the same game, because I was in like a similar situation, thinking about like the Project Rainbow days and like the four of us, yourself, Andrew, Amanda, and myself, and like us like meeting up and discussing like that we were going to do this project and how fun an idea it was, and here the two of us are like years later doing another project and feeling nostalgic over it. It's really, really strange.
Yeah, it is
to think about it. So that was a cool one. So thanks for that, Sean.
Hey,
props.
My pleasure. Another very cool one. Not as nostalgic, but something more fresh, and I think something that I was super excited to see, because it was one of my favorite moments from game. Super Mario Odyssey. Mini Minchino played it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's kind of an interlude area that you go to where you fight, and I quote Mini Minchino's title to her video, a giant freaking dragon. And it's just such a stellar, rad fight, and gosh, I'm just so dang happy that it's a part of this project. Like, really stellar job, Mini.
Yeah, I was like delighted to see it, because I mean, like Sean and I, we talk about like, oh Joe, we've been talking for months about like which games we'd like to do for this, and oh, it'd be so cool to do this, and it'd be so cool to do this. Which game did none of us talk about or think of was like Mario Odyssey, and as soon as I saw that she was after running up that video, I was like, oh my god, that is like such a perfect idea. That's like the best possible like video that you could do for Summertime Radness, the scary sequel. So it was just like, it's an amazing area. It's like if you took Castlevania and just transplanted it into a Mario game. It's just so like serious looking in comparison to the rest of the world. It's just so dark and cool. I love it. So that was like a slam dunk in my opinion as well. So
absolutely,
everyone go check it out.
Absolutely.
From Mario Odyssey, we went to the obligatory Poke Park Wii video.
Harry, the only reason Harry does these projects is that he has an excuse to play Poke Park.
Yes. As you people know, I have like I discovered a love for Poke Park Wii last year. So I uncovered like secret feelings for Poke Park Wii Pikachu's Adventure, which I never knew dwelt inside me before. And since then I've kind of like always happened to find some excuse to play it for one of our projects. And this was no different, because I had like, there's this whole world based around this kind of like haunted mansion that's kind of just like, it's where these like ghost Pokemon are just chilling out and living their lives and playing games, and
it's so cute. It's so freaking
eating
cute.
Desserts and getting fat and sassy and just like having fun. And I just think it's so adorable.
This is another game that, like I said, you only have so much time in the world, but it's really nice to just kind of like just jump in and see what this game's about. And as you said, we've seen it a couple times now. But it's just so sweet.
But not enough.
Not
There's
enough.
Never
enough. Coming this winter, it's just Pokemon. It's just Pokemon. Pokemon Poke Park. That's the whole event. It's just Poke Park.
I've decided to fly you all to Poke Park Wii. We are going there because it is real, everybody.
This is the part. This is the part where Harry loses it. We've officially lost him. But great,
so from
great. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna start talking about your Pokemon video.
Oh, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you.
Yeah. So Sean kind of made a very valiant effort to do a video showing off the courtyard from Pokemon Battle Revolution. but like unfortunately the disc kind of like crapped out after like 5 minutes. But the part that he did show of it was really, really cool, and for me it was cool because I had completely forgotten about that whole courtyard area and how annoying it is with the fog that causes you to miss all the time. But as well, again, it was really, really cool because it reminded me of like back in the day when we kind of had our own fair share of battles with each other on Pokemon Battle Revolution, some of which are recorded for posterity on several different channels at this stage. But like it was just so cool to see. So thanks a million for like unearthing that. It's another example of a game like I never would have thought of for this purpose. So that was like another creative slam dunk on your part.
It was really fun, and I mean it was unintentional that the game crashed and everything. And like jokes aside, it did kind of add a little bit of like a spooky element for me. It was just like, and I joked about it, but it's like, oh yeah, all of these memories and all these characters that I love are just little ones and zeros in this hardware. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, I have my Apom that I love in my game. I've had him forever. You know, I have my Swampert from Sapphire, traded over a million times, and it's like, yeah, he could just go, you know. And it's just like, that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. It
really makes you appreciate the time you have.
It does. It's weird. It's so silly that a Pokemon game puts you in that kind of thinking mood, but geez, it does.
Yeah. It totally does. Like I remember, like when I booted up my yellow file and saw that like the file from my original Pokemon Yellow LP was gone, and like Rosagina wasn't there anymore, G wasn't there anymore. Like, all of these guys that I had in like my first LP of a Pokemon game. So I was pretty like sad about that as well. So I must say, if the Wii network still was a thing, and my Pokemon Battle Revolution disc broke, then I'd be pretty sad about it too.
Yeah, I mean it's just, you know, makes sense. And then last but certainly not least, we have Mini Minchino's contribution of playing Twilight Princess, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which as you mentioned, Harry, I think we both had the idea of how do I freaking put this creepy, wonderful game.
Yes.
How do we approach it? And I think Minnie's idea of just like, you know what, I'm just gonna play the whole first part. You know, like I think that's just the way to do it. You know, why try and cut any corners when you can really just sink down and appreciate the game for the atmosphere that it builds. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's like I really do think that was the perfect way the perfect part of the game to show off, because for me, Twilight Princess is probably the most consistently dark in tone Zelda game. It has like the muted palette, it's very like realistic looking, it's very kind of like kind of more visceral than your regular Zelda game. I know Majora's Mask is pretty dark and spooky as well, but I think Twilight Princess really kind of just like puts a value on being the kind of the dull, serious kind of like the serious Zelda game. And I think really what she did was she took the point in the game where kind of shit gets real, which is, oh my god, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And like the kind of rural paradise of Ordon is suddenly turned into shit central, and then Link gets thrown into this nether world, this like nightmare scape or whatever, and he's a wolf, and it's just so it really is the perfect part of the game.
And even as a player, it's just like, oh, I'm a wolf now, and like you kind of know it going in there, but it's still this shocking moment, and it's just like, okay, and who's this imp that I'm hanging out with? You know, she's really cool, but like, what's the deal? You know,
it's almost as shocking as like when the same thing happens in that Werehog game, Sonic Unleashed.
Coming to you next month on Summertime Radness. Sonic the Werehog.
I guess if I can force you to do a Shovel Knight video, you can force me to do Sonic Unleashed.
Do you have it? Do you have Sonic Unleashed?
I do, but if I do a 20-minute video of it, 10 minutes of that is going to be loading screens. So get ready for that horror.
That's scary. Yeah, you're good. So with that, we're very happy with how the contributions went this month. We're only excited about where the project's going. As we talk about in every video that this whole dang project is, please contribute. Please be a part of it if you want to. Just make a video. It can be you just talking to a camera. It can be you with a camera in front of your Game Boy Color. You know, you don't need to have anything look professional or whatever.
Yep.
We're just here to have fun, you know? There's assets that you can use that I've created, thumbnails and intros if you want to use those. We'd love for you to. They're free.
Totally.
And go ahead, Terry. Sorry.
Like just do it, like anything. Like
yeah.
I think if you check out the playlist, so the playlist on my channel for Summertime Radness 2 has all of the contributions in it. I think that will show you like the variety of everything goes. You have like types of games from Raving Rabbids through to Slender, through to Metroid, through to Pokemon. You have lengths of videos from like 7 minutes ranging to 3/4 of an hour, and that's all cool too. You have entire series of an entire playthrough of a game going on in there. Like everything goes. So, you know, and I think even if you've never made a video before, I think once you do it once, and it's something that takes like a half hour to do, like I think you'll love it. So
yeah. Or even if you just want to like go sit in the woods and just talk about how you like, you know, the mansion in Pokemon Blue, like, you know, like like I said, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. We're just excited to tell our stories and talk about games we like.
Exactly.
So that being said, the project is going on for 2 months, but definitely don't wait. We'd love to see what you have, and thanks for hanging out with us, Harry. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yes, thank you for talking to me.
And we'll see you guys soon with some more contributions. So stay spooky and
squatchy.
Keep it squatchy.
And the truth is out there.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Literally.
Literally.
I'll peel your eyes.
No.
Like two little kumquats.
I like the truth is out there, though. I think. Let's just say that. Or on 3, let's both say it, and that'll be the send off. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The truth is out there. I'll edit it together so it sounds good. Don't worry.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.